Why the Brooklyn Nets won the deal that as we seen yesterday and free agency, the big deal that went down. I wanted to discuss what I feel like the Brooklyn Nets won is this deal personally. Now, and I know you can make the argument that both teams won, for obvious reasons, but I wanted to clarify my reasoning and my background on why I feel like the Nets probably won that deal. But man, the NBA trade deadline now, outside of this move, uh, which me personally I feel like was the biggest move. And then after that, you kind of see some slight solid moves. And then I think we had like maybe two surprising moves that was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But other than that, I don't know if I would call the trade deadline something that was explosive or just crazy. I think it was solid outside of this move I'm finna talk, about, which was the craziest one, which had everybody like, oh wow. Um, but man, but before I get into it, if you a Brooklyn Nets fan, or if you just love just NBA content in general, man, hit that like button, comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. If you love NBA content, NBA trades, NBA news, anything NBA related, hit that like, comment, subscribe button. But I'm gonna get into it, man. So as we know, the 76ers in this deal get James Harden and Paul Millsap. And the Nets received Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and a 2022 first round pick, a 2027 first round pick. And like I stated at the beginning of this video, the Brooklyn Nets are winners to me. I mean, honestly, you think about it, you move on from someone who didn't want to be there, like James Harden. And I know, and two, I know too that Ben didn't want to be with Philadelphia, of course, as we all know. And as you know, with the James Harden thing, it's kind of interesting because it's just like with James Harden, it's just weird, man. Like we all seen him, force his way out of Houston, then he came to Brooklyn. We think, everything gonna be cool. He playing with KD and Irvin. But then, as we heard in the last couple of weeks, that it was some rumblings that Harden wasn't too fond of what's going on with the Nets. We heard rumblings that secretly he's trying to force his way out. And as we seen, come to trade that online, like going on was that yesterday. Yeah, it pretty much everything was true. And as we know, Harden was traded, but too now I don't know what that says about Harden. Like this is his second team he done forced his way out of. But hey, but then too like I said with Brooklyn also too, you traded Harden, and then but also too for Brooklyn you get a shooter in Seth Curry, who's obviously going to take the spot of Joe Harris. And then you get a big and Drummond, as we know, the Nets desperately needed a big. And then, but the thing that got me and why I was like, oh wow, Brooklyn, to me, just separated themselves, as far as the winners of the trade. You get two first round picks now. Now, personally, who knows why Philly decided to give up those two first round picks. Maybe they was desperate, to make a move. As we know that Philadelphia on their side was desperately feeling some pressure because with the likes of Joel playing at this MVP level. I mean, it only made sense on why Philadelphia felt like we had to do something because we just don't want to waste what Joel is doing. So I can see it from that standpoint. But with you giving up those first two picks, man, it's almost like for me, this move has to work. If you Philadelphia, like for me, you got to win the championship in the next 2 years. Since you gave up so much for James Harden, who, as we seen, it just begs the question: which James Harden are we getting? Are we getting elite James Harden? Is Philadelphia getting, okay James Harden? Like what James Harden is Philadelphia getting? Which I think is a really important question. And And then too, it's just simple. Like, as far as the Nets, Ben makes the Nets better because not only for his playmaking, but his defensive ability, like, which kind of goes on the look. But his defensive ability is going to be crucial for Brookyln. Now Brookyln don't have to place KD, on the best players of different teams. You can give that assignment easy to Ben Simmons. And then to me, like with Philly, it begs the question, like, how would James fit with Joel? Like, Joel's a dominant big. We seen how it worked in Houston with Howard, how like that didn't work out at the time. How Howard was a solid big, and we see how that worked out. Now I understand that Joel and Howard are two completely different players. I understand that, but I don't know. It just begs the question, like how would Harden fit with Joel, which I think is a legit question. You got a dominant big, and it's interesting to see non the least on how Harden would fit with that team. Like, is Harden willing to to accept the fact that he has to play second fiddle to Embiid, or so that remains to be seen. And yeah, man, like I said, if you if you Philadelphia, you gave up 2 first-round picks to the Nets, and you it's basically what Philadelphia did, just pushed all each other to the table and was like, no, we looking to win the championship now. So for me, I give them like a 2-year window. Where for me, you got to win the chip. You gave up so much capital and so many pieces, but hey, I can also understand the argument too, where both teams win and both teams get what they wanted, as far as Ben Simmons and James. But hey, it remains to be seen, and trust me, I'm gonna be tuning in to see over the years on how all this look, going down the line. But like I said again, man, if you're a Brooklyn fan, a Philadelphia 76ers fan, or if you just love NBA content, hit the like button on the video. Comment too on who you feel won the deal, or if you feel both teams won the deal, put that in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. But that's pretty much gonna be it for me. We out.